Robert, you want to switch your background?
No.
Okay, finally. So, Robert, how was your last week?
Good.
You think it was good?
Yeah.
Did you write notes about your episodes of being angry?
Yes.
How many did you write?
I don't think I can count them anymore at this point.
Well, you have them in your notebook, right? So you can look into your notebook and count them.
What is it again?
There's no problem.
The anger. Mo, he doesn't always log his anger log.
I do.
Saying it's not considered anger.
I log it all the time.
This is a bit inconsistent, what you're hearing.
Sorry, Pomo. He's looking for his notes.
Robbie, come back.
He's looking for the notes, the anger log.
Where do we put it?
It's your book. How can I help?
He had an episode about 2 hours ago regarding, I'm trying to remember because he gets angry sometimes over very small things. I believe it was time on a computer, either a phone or, oh, now I remember. His school issued computer, he felt he was logged out because we had shut down the internet.
Oh, yes. Let me see. 11 more times. That's great. I have a counter as well. 11
What?
times last week.
Encounter? What is that? You have counted it.
Well, so I don't have to count the page regularly. I have a week counter.
I see.
So 11 times. For mostly level 5, so 1 level 8, 1 level 6.
Wow.
What about today, would you say?
Today is level 8, I think.
8 is breaking things.
Okay, then level 7.
7 is moving things and throwing
Okay,
things.
6.
6 is moving things. Such
Definitely
as
now below 6.
5.
No, you threw the post-its.
Oh yeah, so level 7.
So,
Yeah.
let's look at the last one. What happened 2 hours ago?
Speak louder.
For the one that was today, key number 7, I was coding and programming something when mom and dad shut the Wi-Fi down. And because I was saving while it shut down, like the Wi-Fi, it thought I was logging out when I was still logged in. So it thought I was both of those things. It thought I was logged in and logged out. And that made things start to disappear. I couldn't access any of my files anymore, even when the Wi-Fi came back on, because it thought I was logged out while I was logged in. So I couldn't press any sign in. When I finally managed to get the sign in, it said I was already signed in, even though I technically wasn't. I technically was. Alex was the one, really, I think, who found out how to do it. I think it was Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And I got mad through some stuff.
And then you.
Yeah.
And then.
I started throwing some things and yelling because I knew it wouldn't be easy to log back in, especially if it said I was already logged back in, even though I was technically logged out. Because if you're logged in and you press sign in, the sign in will not work. But if you're logged out, it also means you can't access your own projects. So I couldn't do anything about it.
So, how did your how did your parents find out that you were angry?
I yelled. I yelled that the Wi-Fi was down and it caused me to be permanently, well, not permanently, but out for the time being.
You said permanent.
It was going to be permanent unless Alex actually managed to do something. Because if you're logged in and logged out, it thinks you're both.
It's all about your reaction.
You have problems from when you're logged out and problems from when you're logged in.
It's about your reaction.
The problem with me being logged out and logged in at the same time was there were both things you could do. When you're logged out, you can't access your projects or anyone else's projects. When you're logged in, you can't sign in because it thinks you're already signed in. But every time I managed to get to my own page using a need help, it would still think I was logged out. So anytime I try and access my projects, even if I was on the project page, even if I was somehow managed to get in, which I did by getting need help, it still didn't work. You would think I would be logged out and kick me from my project. So I got angry and yelled and threw some stuff.
So you felt like you have lost power over that. What you think you should have power, right?
Yes.
Can you look at that situation again and tell me more? How does it feel like when you lose power?
Sad because I've been working on it for a very long time. And it was kind of a halt in everything.
Did you also worry that you have lost your work?
Yes.
Did you really lose your work or no?
No, because we eventually figured out how to get it back. Eventually. Can you sit still?
Now, what if you actually did lose your work?
And I would be sad and mad.
How long time did you spend with that work?
A very long time.
Would it be some work that you would have to do again anyway, or was it rather something you did because you wanted yourself?
As I wanted to myself, I've been working on a 3D game that I've been coding and some animations. So because none of my projects were finished when it actually shut down and logged me out, and well, technically both logged in and out, so I was sad and mad.
So it seems to me that you were mad because you had attachment to the work that you were doing.
Yeah.
So would it be right to say that it was the attachment to your work that was behind your anger?
Not exactly, because when the Wi-Fi shut down, again, it thought I was logged out. And who shut down the Wi-Fi? My parents. So that was partially the reason why I was mad.
Well, if you had no attachment at all to the work that you were doing, would the shutting down of the Wi-Fi be of any concern for you?
No.
Uh-huh. So then you're getting back to the previous question. So could we then say that your attachment to your work was the only reason why you got angry? Do you see? If you were not attached to your work, then you would not get angry. That's basically what you've already said, right? So then it seems that it was the attachment alone to your work that actually was behind your anger.
Yeah.
Can you see it there? It's a little hard to see it, right? But how do you feel about it now as you're considering it?
Yeah, I could have tried another device, but I don't think that would work. But I see it now as something that I wish didn't happen.
Well, do you think there was any way in the world that you could do, that there was anything in the world that you could do to prevent your parents from turning off the Wi-Fi?
Going upstairs because I was to go upstairs and I asked, give me a second to save, and they shut down the Wi-Fi right then and there. So as I was saving, it shut down.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So you feel that if you were informed a while before that, then you could have shut down, you could have saved your work, but you were not informed, so you feel like you were disrespected, like your work were not respected.
Yes.
So, Joe, do you agree that you actually came to the Wi-Fi switch and just turned it off?
I'm going to. Dara, this was you.
Oh, sorry, it was me.
I don't
Shut
know
it
the answer.
down. You move a little bit. Okay. I disagreed because I told him
You told
to.
Alex.
I screamed to have it shut down multiple times
You to Alex.
and to either eat their lunch or go shower, but he
To
ignored.
Alex. You
Can
said
I?
it to Alex.
It's my turn to talk. Okay, so he ignored several times, and at one point I know that he wouldn't stop unless I shut the Wi-Fi down. So I shut the Wi-Fi down, and he got he exploded.
You only told Alex.
So, but it's understood. It's understood. Every day today is Sunday, right? So in the morning I do grocery shopping. And then after I came back from grocery shopping, I told them that, I'll have breakfast and to wrap it up while I'm having breakfast. And that when I'm done with breakfast, I expect them to either go shower or to shut it down and help, around or what is needed to be done. But that the Wi-Fi,
You said
being
it to
on
Alex.
the computer has to be gone.
You told it to Alex.
But that's every week. Every week. That's how it is. When I come home from grocery store, they just enjoying themselves very comfortably in the living room on their Chromebook, laptop.
You told it to Alex.
Nobody even would come sit with me for breakfast.
You told it to Alex.
Repeated calls. Please shut it down. Someone sit and accompany me.
So,
Nobody heard it. So
Because you told Alex.
stop. I'm talking to
So,
not you.
Farah, do you remember saying it to Robert? And do you remember informing Robert before turning off the Wi-Fi?
Yes, of course.
You
I made it clear since I come back from grocery store.
informed
How many times did you say it before you turned off the Wi-Fi?
I would say at least 5 times.
You told Alex
Right.
again.
I mean, how many times did you say it to Robert specifically? Did you like knock on his door and tell it to him after you opened the door, or or through the closed door?
Open the door. Like he was in the living room, so I was in the dining room. So
Tell that
I think I screamed from there like 2, 3 times. But when I came back from the store, as soon as the main door is open, I said, I'm gonna have breakfast. Once breakfast is done, finish your laptop, video game, whatever you're doing.
I see. So you didn't really tell it directly to Robert in the same room. You tell it to him from a different room, right?
Yes.
I see. So, is there any possibility, in your opinion, Tara, that Robert could have not hear it, for example, if he had headphones on his head and listened to something else?
I do not believe so, because this is the weekly problem.
It's something that happens every week?
Every single week. I go to grocery store, I come home, two of them are in the living room enjoying the best of their life, and I said, I feel like I'm serving you guys so that you guys can just sit and enjoy in the living room. And I said, I want to do the same thing as well, not do anything, just sit and enjoy myself.
I do
in the
have a
living room.
question. I'm sorry.
But,
Where was he sitting when it was shut off?
he was in the living room.
I
You
was
would've
next to the TV.
Robert, you would have heard.
I was in the chair next to the TV.
TV wasn't on.
Next.
Be in the camera, okay? Be in the camera. It's an every week.
So like
every
this is
week
the
problem.
door where my hand is the door, TV, and this is where I'm sitting. And
Homo has been to
is
the
in
living room.
other-
Homo knows, okay? Homo was in our rude.
Robert, I think we need to set some rules for our meetings. And one of them is that if we don't ask you specifically and separately and directly, you should not say anything. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
And don't
Very important. It's part of the communication system. Otherwise, the message cannot come across, and I cannot help you effectively. Okay? All right. So, Tara, so you believe that Robert has heard you at least several times, but actually none of those 5 times you were in the same room where he was when you said that you will be turning off the Wi-Fi, right?
Yes.
I see. So, Robert, now you know that Tara were informing you about turning off the Wi-Fi from some other room. Can you at least vaguely remember that you heard some voice of somebody saying anything at all, not necessarily about Wi-Fi, from another room?
Not from another room. Alex came to me after my Wi-Fi was shut down and said, "Mom shut down the Wi-Fi because you didn't come."
So,
Only then was I informed.
so Robert, you did not actually hear anyone informing about anything, even from a different room, even about let's go eat, or hey guys, or anything of that kind. You didn't hear anyone saying anything at all from another room?
No, not really. No.
Your mom believes that she has actually informed several times, so it seems that you could not hear her. Is it possible that she did really say it, but you could not hear her because, let's say, you had some headphones on your head or something else?
I had no headphones, but it probably was.
Excuse me, I didn't hear properly.
I don't know exactly because I was testing some sounds on mine.
I see, you were testing some sounds. So is it possible that you could not hear your mom because of those sounds that you were testing?
Probably.
It is possible, right? Uh-huh. So, Tara, I think we are getting a little bit closer to the solution. Seems like when you're informing your dear children, it would be good if you have a system, that makes sure that they actually hear what you say. Because you can probably understand that if you say something several times and they don't hear you at all, then you're just losing your time and energy. And who wants that, right?
All
So
all right.
maybe what you can do next time is, come to their room, make sure that their headphones are off, and see their reactions.
Oh, excuse me.
And see their reactions. See if they can say yes, mom, or something like that, and then remember
All right.
the reaction. Because it seems that Robert really did not hear you.
All right.
Okay. Robert, what do you think? Do you think that I, Ashin Sarana, has never ever lost any work that I have ever done? What do you think?
I think that's not true because I remember when you were here, the Chrome thingy, something happened with it. I don't remember what exactly happened with it, but something happened to the laptop.
Not, I didn't lose work in the last few years, but in the past, I definitely lost a lot of work. But I don't remember ever being angry about for that on anyone. But I must admit that my dad never turned off Wi-Fi, and the reason is because we never had Wi-Fi. So there was nothing to turn off. Isn't that amazing? So that also is a solution. What do you think about that, Robert?
No, thank you.
I love solution.
No.
I love it.
I don't.
You should try for maybe 2 weeks.
You've tried it already, if I remember.
Okay. So, Robert, it happens. It's actually very natural that we lose the work that we do. This is nothing special. Now, the problem is not really that Wi-Fi was turned off. The problem is that you had attachment to your work to that extent that it caused your anger. You will be losing things in your life, not necessarily because turned off Wi-Fi, but for various reasons. You will need to train yourself to manage to control your emotions, because if you do not know how to control your emotions, if you get angry like this, then you may lose your friends, you may lose support and trust of the people around you. Are you aware of these things?
Yeah.
It's not, yeah, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So Robert, do you have any idea what you could do, what you can do next time to avoid a rising of your anger when it seems that you're losing your work?
Lock myself in my room and cry in my bed.
Oh my.
I would love that too. That's not bad either. Instead of having to listen like 5 minutes of rant. I even suggested him, if he's so angry, go to basement and just scream until continue
like the
complaining
basement.
until Dan. And I said, when you're done with your rant, come back up. I said, I don't need to hear his rant. I mean, complain. Non-stop complain. He would literally follow me so that I hear his complaints. I'm serious. Sometimes I ran into my room, but he would follow me to my room. And he would continue to complain how miserable his life is.
Yeah, feeling disrespected is definitely something very uncomfortable. So it feels like you're destroying his self. So if he is not able to accept that this is part of life, then of course it's very uncomfortable. And if he feels that you are the reason, then he wants to correct it, like to somehow Fix,
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
and he doesn't know how to fix it, so he's desperate. So Robert, there is no way to fix that. How do you feel about it?
Eh,
Sorry, what did you say?
I feel sad.
Please
Eh,
be
You feel sad.
respectful.
I see. But Robert, do you think that it's only you in the world who has this trouble?
Sometimes, yes.
I can tell you everybody has this problem. All of us have the problem that sometimes we lose things, sometimes we feel disrespected, sometimes we feel unappreciated. How do you feel about that?
Better.
It's a little better. All of us have that. All of us, and not just one time or two times or 1,000 times or 2,000 times. It's part of life. It's a necessary part of life. How do you feel about that?
Worse. Eh,
A little bit worse.
yes.
Welcome to the world. That's the way it is.
But
There is no one who has not lost anything, and no one who has been respected by everyone. Even the Buddha was disrespected by people. Even people tried to kill the Buddha and destroy what the Buddha did. And in some cases, they were a little bit successful. So even the Buddha was losing sometimes with the people, and it was pretty uncomfortable. In the end, the Buddha would resolve those things, but in the process, there was a damage. But the Buddha was never angry. The Buddha was never disappointed. So, what do you suggest that you could do in order that you are actually satisfied, that you're peaceful and calm when things don't go the way you expected? Do you have any idea what could you do?
stuff my pillow in my face.
Well, that's not really being satisfied, right? That's not really being in peace. So our idea, our aim, so let's see what is our goal. So our goal is to achieve such a special skill with which you can be totally peaceful, calm, and satisfied even when you are losing your work, even when you feel disrespected. Do you understand that goal? Do you understand what I said? No, now we are not going any deeper than that. Do you just understand the words that I said?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So imagine that this would happen. Can you imagine that? Is it possible for you in your mind to just imagine that this would be true?
Okay, yeah.
You gotta stop playing things. Well, sorry, he always have something in his hand and always resting. So this is what he's trying to play in his hand all this time. And I've been trying to grab it.
I see.
My
Seems like
husband
we have,
also tried to grab it, but he's been very busy, like down there with his hand while talking to you. It's every session.
I see. It's like you have a lot of toys everywhere. So he has always something to grasp. If you had like totally empty table and nothing there and just the laptop, maybe it would be interesting. What would he actually then grasp?
Give mommy, please pay attention.
Okay, so Robert, so it is possible for you to imagine that. How do you feel about it as you're imagining that actually you would be losing your work and still you will be calm and peaceful and you would be like, well, can happen.
Better. Much better, actually.
Just a little better. So, you know what you can do when you are working on something, you can already expect that. Do you have something like save button or something like that with your projects?
Yeah.
Is there a save button? If you do the save button and then you lose your work, will it? Can you then recover it very easily?
Yeah.
So, what about if you have a regular time? Does your project have automatic saving?
Yeah.
Oh, it has automatic. Robert, what are you doing? It is automatic.
See, never met this part. This is the first time I heard. He make it sound like he's lost the entire world.
It's very hard to animate.
See how tricky he is, Momo?
I had
This
to
is what I'm
animate it.
dealing with.
I had to animate
It's
it by
very
hand.
clever. It's very
I
clever.
had to animate it by hand. Mom.
It's
Excuse me,
always
Robert.
tricky.
Talk to me. What's going on?
Using like 50 frames is
Talk
a
to
very
Momo, not
big
to me.
step.
Is it very? So, how often is this automatic saving?
Every time I'm like code, but instead of coding, I was busy working on animation, like drawing the frames, so it wouldn't automatically save.
So the drawing does not have automatic save, but are you able to save that by a save button?
Yeah, I'd save it manually.
How long time? What would be the time of work that you would be losing if you did lose the work? How many minutes of the work would be lost?
30 minutes to an hour.
3 minutes to an hour. So that means that it is possible that you actually did not save your work for about an hour, right?
Yeah.
Just a moment, having a little technical problem here.
Robert, 你你你在忙搞污人啊？你有记啊 Robert, it gives me a headache to look at you. Stop, Robert.
So just a moment, I will make a little adjustment here so that the computer doesn't freeze.
Don't be disrespectful. Cross your legs and sit down. Just like when you meditate, cross your legs. Robert, stop.
So Robert, can you focus on the top of the head and see if you can allow the flat piece of flesh at the top of the head to be heavy?
Okay.
And can you now continue to the forehead and eyes, nose, and see if you can make them so heavy that you just cannot move them at all. You continue to the lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, the whole head. We continue to the neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back. We allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the upper part of the body to be heavy. And and changing. And we continue to the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, the heels, soles, toes, tips of toes. We allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy and changing. So whenever you're speaking with someone, you can do this practice of observing muscles, and you can go again and again and again, all right? I think it will help you to gradually calm down all of the body. So you can go back to the top of the head, and again, top of the head, forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, cheeks, ears, back of the head, the whole head, neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms, fingers, tips of fingers, chest, abdomen, back, all of the upper part of the body, buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, heels, soles, toes, tips of toes. We allow all of the muscles and flesh throughout the body to be heavy. So, were you able to, is it possible for you to actually save your work? Is it possible for you to actually save your work when you're working on the animations?
Yeah, but I have to manually save, which is what I was doing when the Wi-Fi crashed. Or not crashed, but shut off.
So you were able to save, but you did not save it, right?
Yeah.
So what if next time you save it let's say every 5 minutes? How long time do you have to wait for it to save? Yeah, I mean, like after you press your saving button, Do you have to wait some time until it's saved, or does
Yeah.
it save it immediately?
You have to wait some time before it's saved.
I see. How long time do you have to wait?
Depending on how large the file is that you just saved, take 10 seconds to 30 seconds.
I see. So it's a little bit of disturbance to your work, right?
Yeah.
So what would be the time of work that you still would be relatively comfortable to lose?
5 minutes, because that I can redo.
5
But-
minutes.
If I were to, because after I got it back, I was working on something where I had to draw line by line because I was making bricks for a room. And if I lost that out, I would be very upset because I'm not using my finger that much. Again, it hurt my finger clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking to make lines and bricks. I don't think I'm ever adding bricks in one of my projects ever again, actually. But it took a while.
See. Robert, in our life, we do not have much power over things. It would be good for you to reflect on that sometimes, especially when you're doing some work that you're very much appreciative of, you know. What can help you a lot is that as soon as you can notice attachment to something you have done or to something that's happening, imagine you would lose it. And accept that fact that indeed you can lose it. The Buddha teaches a method called meditation on death, which helps us understand this fact. So we are basically, with monks and meditators and wise people, we are basically considering the possibility that I die next breath. So what if I die next breath? Well, then I lose everything. I don't lose just the work that I'm doing, but I also lose the skill that I have learned to do the thing that I'm doing. I also lose the potential to do it again. How do you feel about that?
I don't really know.
You don't really understand it, right? So the point is that if we die, we lose everything that we have, not just the work that we are working on, but we also lose the people that we love, we lose the place where we are, we lose all of our ability to speak, to walk, to eat, to think. All of that is gone. When we die, we lose all of the things that we had, and we start entirely from the beginning. Namely, we appear again as little creatures inside the womb of another mom, be it a mom of an animal or a mom of a human, and we start totally with nothing, no ability, no skill, no knowledge, no memory, nothing. So how does that feel to you? How do you feel about that?
I don't really know how I feel.
Okay. So you can consider this possibility that you may lose everything you have, everything you have done. If you can consider it, notice your feelings. What if you lose this thing you were working on? Then as you're considering that, you need to accept it. You learn, indeed, it is possible that it will happen. It is possible. If you can learn that it is possible, well, then you can get over it much easier when it really happens. If you do not, if you never imagined it, if you never thought about it, well, then of course it's a surprise, and dealing with surprises is much more difficult. Dealing with something unpleasant for which you're already ready. So, would you still be comfortable to press the save button every 5 minutes? Or would that also disturb your work very much?
No, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
You'd be fine. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to set up your work, how to say that, your work system so that you will remember actually to press the button every 5 minutes?
Set a timer for every 5 minutes. What? I can do that.
Okay, would that work? That's great. So I think we can make this issue a little easier. So next time when mom informs Alex and Robert that she's going to turn off Wi-Fi, I would like to ask her to come to your room and to wait for your reply, and she will be remembering your reply. Okay, so if you're telling to your mom something, it needs to be for some reason. You cannot just say, "Ah, yeah," and continue forgetting even that you said something. You cannot do that. Okay, before you say something, you need to understand why are you saying it, what's going on, because it may be related to your work. Okay, it may be an issue very directly related to your work. Now you know it very clearly. Okay, so I think that's quite all what we can do today. We cannot do that much, but let's see if we can achieve improvement at least in this thing. It seems that this appears every week. Are you aware that this similar problem has been happening every week?
Yes.
And did you always like lose your work, or what happened the other weeks? Did you also get angry the other weeks?
No, because the other weeks I was able to save before the Wi-Fi was shut down.
I see. So what happened those times? So you would like save it and you just like wait until your mom turns off the Wi-Fi?
No, I would shut it off immediately after save, because if I do any more work, I won't risk losing it.
You say it again, clearly.
I would shut it down, because if I did any more work, I would be afraid of losing it. Like what I did with Tears of the Kingdom. I was in a cutscene, and you can't save during a cutscene. So immediately after the cutscene, I saved, and Dad thought I was going to keep on doing it until he took it. But I just shut it off and saved, or saved and shut it off.
I see. So, so then, if you did shut off the computer, do you think that it was really necessary for your mom to turn off the Wi-Fi?
No.
But she still turned off the Wi-Fi, right? So why did she do that?
I don't know.
So, what about would you be actually willing to shut down your computer if even if you know that your mom will not actually turn off the Wi-Fi?
No.
Oh, you would not turn off the computer.
Oh, wait, sorry, I thought you meant turn off
No, but
her
he meant it.
computer.
He meant it.
I thought you meant
If I do not
turn off-
shut down, he would go on
No.
forever.
I thought you meant shut down her
No.
computer.
Not her. Mommy's computer. Don't ever use the word she or
But
her
I
to
thought you
me.
meant that I would shut down mommy's computer.
Again, so it seems that there was some misunderstanding. Can you clarify what you wanted to say?
What I wanted to say is, yes, I would shut it off immediately after saving.
So
Even-
you mean you believe you would shut it down even if you knew that your mom would not shut down the Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are some good news. And how would you get the information that your mom is going to shut down the Wi-Fi so that you fully believe it and accept it, and it makes you really shut down the computer? What would be the way that your mom would tell it to you?
Send Alex's phone and have him record it and then bring it back to me.
There's no trust. There's no trust from here.
So let's imagine that your mom would take the phone and she would come and she would start recording. So how would you imagine that she records it? Would she like record you, or would she record herself, or how exactly would you imagine she would be recording it?
She would record herself saying, "Hello, Robert. The Wi-Fi is going off." 2 minutes. Save your project.
In 2 minutes, save your project. I see. And then she would actually have to come close to you and also record your saying, "Okay, mom," right?
Yeah, that's what Alex is for.
Sorry, that's what?
That's what Alex on his phone is for.
I don't hear you clearly. Please, can you focus on the camera and tell it to me?
That's what Alex's job is for.
That's what Alex's job is for? What does it mean?
It means Alex will come upstairs and record me saying okay, and then go downstairs and send it to mom, and then come back upstairs and say that mom's shutting it off in 2 minutes. What?
Why should Alex do that?
Because he should.
But then you should do it for Alex too, right?
Yeah.
So then it becomes a little complicated, doesn't it?
No, not really. I just do the same thing for him.
Oh, you do it for him?
But what is his response?
Yes.
And does ever Alex get angry when he loses things? When he
He has more problems with me. He has more problems than me. Let's just say this.
You feel that Alex is getting angry with you often?
He has much more problems with anger than me.
Not really.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yes.
When the Wi-Fi is shut down, they both lose something, but Alex doesn't get violent like
Yeah, but
Robert.
every time I take something and make him lose something, like borrow it, he's always like, no, why are you here? Why'd you take that? And then he tries hitting me.
Robert, I'm sorry to hijack the conversation,
Be in the camera.
but you just said you take something from him.
I said I take something with his permission.
Oh,
And then he
okay.
would yell at me.
Maybe he didn't hear you because I didn't hear you just now. I'm just being honest. I've seen you guys argue a lot. I mean, what you said, I think, was a little telling.
Just a little bit argue.
And also he expected, like, the way it does is, if I start screaming, not screaming, if I start saying, I'm going to shut down Wi-Fi, after like the third telling them, Alex would shut it down. Alex knew that I'm starting to get very agitated. So Alex tried to get out of kind of like my anger radar by shutting down, and he's gone. But Robert continues, kind of like push the button until I would not, can I talk to Momo? I would not be able to take any more. And then during that time, before the time that I get really angry and the time that I have already informed everybody that I'm about to shut down Wi-Fi, he expected Alex to be the remediator between me and him, and then Alex come and inform him, this is the final moment. Mom is about to really shut down the Wi-Fi. So he's expecting Alex to do it on his behalf. That's how it goes. Because they both are always on video game. Chromebook, the project, whatever they call it. But when I shut it down, only Robert has this kind of very angry reaction, following me upstairs, downstairs to continue complaining and to air out his, grievances as how miserable he is, how unlucky his life is, and that, he's the most poorest person on earth, not owning anything about his life. That those are his words. He said he doesn't have anything in his life. He often say that.
Well, I never said that too. It's called scratch.
You said it 2 hours ago.
Yes.
No, I didn't.
You see, you heard Daddy also said that. Everyone heard you say that you have nothing in your life.
I'll ask Alex. Should I ask Alex to come upstairs and say that?
Alex, come
here for a
and tell
minute. Just
Homo.
come here.
Alex, come and tell Homo what Robert said. Sorry, let me go.
I never said
Can you tell Homo,
anything.
Homo,
I did not say anything to him.
do your respect? And can you tell Homo what Robert said when he's angry?
When Robert's angry, he's usually like, "Well, you should have told me."
No, did Robert say that his life is like?
Yes.
What did Robert say?
Whenever like mom shuts the Wi-Fi or like
Mhm.
these stuff, Robert's like, "I hate my life." No, I never say
No,
that.
let him speak. What did Robert say?
When Robert's when Robert's like super angry, he says like, "I hate my life and I'm like so unlucky." But that's when he's like super angry.
But he said that, right?
Yeah, but he
How many
says it.
times he said that?
I don't know, to be honest.
Every time he's angry, he said those, right?
No, not every single time. But he has said it. Exactly. He has said it. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. Okay, goodbye. Exactly.
No, you can stay here if Homo has questions.
Okay.
Homo, yes, Homo.
Our time is running out. So Alex, I think, so Robert, sorry. Robert, what you can do now is
He's good.
practice more observing muscles. It seems that it helps you. So the more you can practice it, the more it will help you. And you can then maintain, your composure. You can then maintain the way how you're sitting or how you're listening so that you're not moving here and there, and you can better focus on what's really happening. So the same applies at school. When you're at school and teacher is saying something, do you also do like this?
He's asking you a question.
No.
You don't do this, so why do you do it when I'm talking to you? I feel like that's not fair.
Because at school I have pencils to do this with. Me.
He has to hold something.
Yeah, Homo, throughout this conversation, he had something in his hand. We've taken like the fourth item from his hand. When he has nothing to hold, you know what he does? So this is the mouse, right? He just moved the mouse aimlessly for no reason. He's very restless. I don't know what to do. Always restless.
Yeah, needs to meditate more on muscles. Robert, you need to meditate more on muscles. If you can do it every day, let's say 2 hours or 5 hours, then that will be pretty good. And you can do it, you don't have to sit in meditation posture for that. You could see that it helps you even with opened eyes and while you're listening, while you're doing other things. So, Robert, it would be good if you can meditate more on muscles. If you can do, let's say, 100 times a day, that would be pretty good. 100 cycles. So, what you can do, Robert, you could take a paper and after every 5 cycles, after every doing 5 cycles, you can write 4 lines and cross them out by another one. That way you sign, and that way you show that 5 is done. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you could have a paper, let's say somewhere on the wall, in your room or somewhere on the table. And probably, you could have, do you have something like whiteboard? Like which you can write and then you can wipe it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can write on that whiteboard, always these 4 lines and cross them out by another one to show that 5 is done. So you can always do 5 and you need to do that 20 times a day. So you can do right as you wake up and right after breakfast and then another time when you're waiting for someone or when you're speaking with someone, you finish your project, you want to start your project. Every time you get some chance, you do 5 rounds of observing muscles. And the idea here is that your body will totally calm down so that you can stay entirely without an emotion as you're waiting or listening, or when you're working, you make own emotions with your hands and fingers, but no more with any other part of the body. So maybe let's start with a lower number. Let's start with 20. Okay, let's start with 20. a day. Do you think you could make 20 cycles every day?
Yeah, I think I can.
This doesn't count into your meditation time, all right? This doesn't count in your meditation time. This counts outside your meditation. And you are not doing it in order that it's done, but you're doing it in order that you calm down. So you need to watch, does it help you to calm down? If it doesn't, then you need to be more serious about it. You need to focus more about it. You need to, pay more attention to what you are doing during that meditation practice. Is it clear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, for the time being, this will have to be enough, and we will see. To summarize, Robert, when you're doing your project, you need to set a timer every 5 minutes and save your work every 5 minutes, because it's not just when the Wi-Fi is lost, but electricity can be lost, or you may something else may happen and you may lose your work. It can happen anywhere. So you need to do the saving. Your mom, what you can do, Tara, is that you can on Sundays only, to have a little fun, you can come up to Robert and say, I'm going to shut down the computer while you're recording, in the phone. You don't have to record video. It's enough if you record the sound. And you record also the answer of Robert. And that's it. You have recorded it, and then you leave. So you say it only one time, and Robert answers only one time. There is no more saying it 2 times or 3 times anymore. Okay. So on one hand, it's true, you need to make the extra steps, to come into his room and tell it to him and record it, but you're saying it just one time. Would that still be fine for you?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. So, Robert, from now on, you will be informed only one time. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. And there is no more discussion about whether you have heard it or not, because your answer will be recorded. So now I think it will be a little more comfortable, I think, for all of you. Fortunately, Alex doesn't need that treatment, but definitely Tara may like to come to Alex's room as well and wait for his response too, so that the boys feel like they get fair treatment. But
Yes.
doesn't have to record Alex, at least until there's a problem.
All right.
All right, so let's hope for the best. Robert, you need to remember, write down all of the episodes, because we want to know the number, and we want to know the intensity. So do you know how to count average, Robert?
Yeah.
So can you count the average of the levels of anger for the last week?
The average level is 5.
Sorry?
The average level is 5. It rarely gets above 5 unless, stuff like today happened.
We want to have exact average, 5 point whatever. So you need to count it right now. Can you do it for me?
Okay.
I think he's asking.
The average is 5.
Wow, that's pretty fast. Did you write down all of the 11 numbers one after another and then counted them up and then divided them by 11? That's what I want you to do now.
I can help you calculate if you want. I can use my calculator to.
Well, I think Robert doesn't need calculator for that, right? Let's see if it's divisible by 11.
So, sorry,
What
9.
is the sum?
But is it like anger average? 9 is my 5. Is my 5 anger average? Like the anger average, like level anger, 5, and I've had it 9 times. So let's see, my point average is about for this 1.22222222.
Okay, that's fine. So 5.2 periodical, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, in mathematics, we have ways how to say long numbers fast. So 5.2 periodical, and would you remember what was the average for the previous week?
Well, the previous week I had 7, and it was again 5. So, and I got nothing above or below 5 actually. So.
So
Yeah, 5.
the exact average. What was the exact average for the previous week?
Write down instead of making
7 divided by 7 is a 1.
It's not how you do an average.
Yeah, your average is wrong, Robert.
I know how to do averages where the number is lower and amount of times you've done something is high. So like
I don't think he knows
So,
the average.
Robert,
do
can you
know
please now listen to your dad's explanation on how to do average?
Robert, you add each number for the week and you divide by the total number. That's the average. So if there's
what
7 5s, what's 7 times 5 or 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5?
35 divided by 7 is 5.
So that's your average.
Yeah.
So the average is 5. Okay, so you had nothing else than just 5 last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, last week.
Yeah, the previous, yeah, of course, the previous week. So for this week, it's 5.2 periodical, and the previous week, it was exactly 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means, so now what you can do, Robert, you can write a graph. Does your book have can you use your last page of that book, the absolutely last page right before the back cover? And can you write there, a graph doesn't need to be exact. You can maybe, I don't think that you really need to have it beautiful and amazing and nice. It's enough if you can write, one vertical line, one horizontal line. You probably know how graphs look like, right?
And this.
Yes,
Yeah, I
something
know.
like that. And on the horizontal line, you will write the Sundays. So previous Sunday when we met, you can write. You
Just
can
do-
number those meetings that we were meeting. So you can write as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So that 1 means our first meeting when you reported your anger episodes. 2 means our second meeting when you reported your anger episodes. Do you understand it, Robert?
Yeah.
Okay. And now on the vertical line, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because we never get over 10, your average will never get more than 10. So on the horizontal, you keep, let's keep there 10 as well. So you will keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on until 10 on the horizontal, and 1 until 10 on the vertical. And it needs to be equal. You cannot have the spacing between the numbers on the horizontal bigger or shorter than those on the vertical line. Do you understand what I say?
Yeah.
Perfect. Have you finished drawing it?
Almost.
On it? Okay. Take your time.
I'll give you a loop.
Not sure there is one here.
There you go.
No. Robbie, I think he's saying draw the lines across.
What?
You've seen a graph, I think.
You know, like this,
Yes, exactly.
like that.
You've seen graphs.
What did you do then?
So ask your dad what to do. Ask,
Well,
Can I actually get a better pen?
we have.
Yes.
I would try.
I'm gonna go get
Yeah.
There we go.
No, it's not that.
Maybe if it is.
There you go.
checked.
Use the ruler. Use the ruler.
Okay, got it?
Well, not exactly.
Agnieszka.
It's not wrong.
Well, you've done with 2 weeks, so you can show it to.
So when it's done, you can mark there at the appropriate points your 5 and 5.2. We write 5.22222 and so on by writing 5.2 and above 2 you will write a little line. So that little line above 2 means that this 2 is repeated.
Okay. So.
No, 5.2, not 1.2.
Ah.
Can you show it now? Please.
The camera. Because of your filter, it doesn't show.
You chose the filter.
How do I get rid of filter?
Yeah, the filter is beautiful, but maybe we don't need it at this moment.
Yeah, I was trying. Okay,
Yeah, I think it will help if we have turned off the filter, so you can see what you have.
This.
It's upside down.
Oh, really? Is it upside down?
I think now it is upside down. Yes,
It's
now it is fine. You cannot really have 5.2 at the exactly same level as you have 5, right? The 5.2 would have to be a little higher than 5. Now it seems like 5.2 is exactly the same as 5.
5.2 would be like this. You can use it
Yeah, I
differently.
think I should have asked you to do it by a pencil.
You can use color pencil.
5.222.
No, you just write 2 with a little line above that. You don't repeat writing the 2, not at all.
Yeah.
Wrong. That's a wrong notation. Okay, that's a little better. So this looks more like 5.5, the level, but no problem. Do not ever write, unless your teacher asks you for that, do not ever write number with more than 2 decimals. Okay, avoid doing that. Do you know how to round up decimals, Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Well, then you could have done it right. What would be the number if you rounded up to 2 decimals?
If I rounded up 2 decimals, it would be 5.22.
That's right, 5.22. All right. So we will keep this graph, and you will be gradually adding to this graph, with every our meeting. Think of the levels of anger as the levels of electricity that are shocking you. Robert, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
What did I just say?
Stop it!
No, almost speaking. Give it to me.
Ow! That hurt.
Robert, release whatever you're having in your hands. You don't need to hold it now. What did I just say? What was the thing I said about your...
We'll keep recording this graph and keep this graph
Yeah, and then?
week. And then we will share it next week.
Yeah, and then?
Keep on recording it.
And then what did I say? You missed it. Okay, I said, now listen to me very carefully because you need to remember that. I said that consider every level of anger as a level of electricity. And you are getting shocked by that level of electricity. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Can you say it to me? Can you tell me?
Consider each level of anger, level of electricity, and every level equals the amount of shock.
That's right. So you don't want to shock yourself, right? Would you like to shock yourself by electricity?
No, not like shock.
Now, although you did not feel too much shocked by your electricity until now, your parents and the people around you were shocked. Are you aware of that? Are you able to accept that?
Yeah.
But it's not fair, right? So they got shocked and you were not shocked. Do you agree that it's not fair?
No,
Why do you think it's not fair?
because I'm constantly being shocked when I'm yelled at to work.
I see. But when I lose my work or when people tell me or do something to me that I don't like, I do not get angry and I do not shock them. So do you think that that is not fair?
No.
The point is that we do not resolve our problems by shocking people, you know? We resolve our problems by love. So the Buddha said, anger will never quench anger. Only love will quench anger. That is the role of the law. Do you understand this Buddha's teachings?
Yeah.
So whenever anger arises in your mind, you need to understand that you are actually making the problem even bigger. Instead, if you can keep peaceful, if you can keep your composure, that means stay fine, stay calm, then it is possible for you to actually resolve the problem fast and without any additional problems. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
That's amazing. You're agreeing with that. Just a little while ago, you said that this would be unfair. Okay, so that's good. It seems like you're making some little progress. Remember to always write down your episodes of your anger. Write them with as much detail as you can. This will be a very important diary because we may look at some of the episodes that happened in the past, even in the other weeks. It was a pleasure to see you. May you be happy, may you be healthy,
You too.
and successful in everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.